Hi guys. Let me introduce you to a topic. This is a topic which I always wonder why it has not been taught in the schools, why it has not been taught in the colleges, why it is not being taught in the corporates. Such an important topic, because if we are aware of this topic, if we are aware of this particular word, we are able to change our life anytime. And we will be able to understand why that particular thing is happening with me again and again. I would be able to understand why my mind is following a pattern, why my mind is following a certain pattern, why I am working according to something. That's why this topic is so much important. When this topic came into my life, when this word particularly came into my life totally changed. So let's see. The word is neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity. It means neuron. Our mind comprises of lot of cells. Our brain comprises of lot of cells, and there is a one cell which is known as neuron. I'll tell you in this video, in the consecutive video. So the one cell in our brain, it is known as a neuron, and a neuron takes all the messages. And I'll tell you in this video that how that neuron is responsible for making our beliefs and values, and how that neuron is based upon the working of that particular neuron, how our life is responsible for that, and how we can change our life through it. So the word is neuroplasticity. It means our brain is a form of a plastic. Plastic means we can change the shape of that particular plastic. If you understand that, we can heat up the plastic and we can change the shape of that plastic. And you can take the plastic as a neuron, as your nervous system. So your nervous system is a kind of a plastic. So let's see what is neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity is the brain's ability to restructure self by forming new neural networks, new neural connection throughout life. Throughout your life, when your brain and whatever the neurons are in your brain, when they are rewiring, they are forming new connections, new network. So that is known as neuroplasticity. Let's get more into it. So this is a picture of a neuron, and this is a real picture. This is an animated picture, and this is a real picture where all the neurons are forming a mesh of network. This is inside the brain, where all the neurons are forming a mesh of network, and this is how it looks. Now what happens whenever we hear anything, whenever we see anything, so any word which goes into our ears, anything which passes through any of the sensory organs, whether it will be eyes, whether it will be ears, whether it will be nose, or from our skin, from our perception, it actually forms an electric current. It actually forms a current inside, electric current, positive outside, negative on one side, positive on one side, and it goes to a neuron. And every time we hear anything, the word hits the neuron. And in a certain language, we call it as it fires the neuron. Whenever a word goes into our brain, it fires that particular neuron. And when the neuron is being fired, every time we hear that particular word, the neuron is being fired. So whenever we see, I'll take an example, whenever we see any advertisement, suppose that advertisement is coming again and again and again, whether it is from a political party or whether it is from any of the company, any of the organization, any of the brand. When that advertisement is coming again and again, and it is continuously striking every time we are hearing that particular advertisement, it is striking into our neuron and it is firing the neuron. And when the neuron is getting continuously fired, it is getting fired, and the neuron gets wired together. The neuron gets fired together, the neuron gets wired together. You understand? When we are hearing continuously one word, the neuron, every time the neuron is getting fired, and when the neuron gets fired, it gets wired together. And when the neuron gets wired every time, that is known as a structural neuroplasticity. So when a motivational speaker or any of the speaker is saying something, so for half an hour, you must have seen that for half an hour there is a lot of enthusiasm and there is a lot of energy in the people. But how much that energy lasts? It's for half an hour or maximum 1 hour. After 1 hour, when the routine comes, the person is like the same. Whatever the speaker can say that. But any time we see that kind of action movie, the results last up to half an hour or maximum 1 hour, because the neuron has fired once or twice or thrice. So what it forms? It forms a chemical neuroplasticity. The word is chemical neuroplasticity. So we will see in this video how the neurons get light up when we hear something. Sorry. See this. This is how every time. This is a typical diagram. If you can see, the neuron is getting lighten up. We are hearing something and the neuron is getting lighten up. And this is how it is wiring. It is getting wired together because it is transferring the message from one neuron to the other and it is getting wired together. And when the more the neuron fire together, the more the neuron gets wired together. This is how it is getting wired, and this is how it is forming a complex from the electric current. So this is a diagram which I wanted to show you. So the more the neurons wire together, the more the neurons fire, and it forms when it forms a complex. So one time when the information hits the neuron, it gets fires. Okay, when it get fired, so that is known as chemical change, and that is known as chemical neuroplasticity. That is known as chemical neuroplasticity, and this is a chemical neuroplasticity. And when it is getting again and again and again, whenever we are getting that information again and again and again, it is known as a structural neuroplasticity, where the neurons have actually prepared a mesh of a network. They have connected together and they have formed a mesh of network, and then that information is in our subconscious. So you can take an example of driving a car from here. When we start driving a car, so once it is in our conscious mind, so it is a chemical neuroplasticity. Somebody is advising us, somebody is suggesting us, you should do this and you should do this. So it is a chemical neuroplasticity. When again and again we are practicing it, so it gets into our structural neuroplasticity, and it forms a kind of a mesh of network. So those kind of many networks are in your brain for many such things. Maybe it could be advertisement from any brand, it could be advertisement from any political party, or from anything which you are hearing continuously. So suppose if somebody is telling you you are not worthy, or from your when you are kid and when you have grown up, if you have listened, you are worthless, you are not something, you cannot do it. So what kind of line is continuously firing my neuron? And whenever it is firing continuously, it forms a mesh of a network, and it goes into my subconscious, and it becomes my belief system. And this is how my belief system grows and grows, and that's why my mind is working in some particular pattern. We sleep in one direction, in one single way, we bath in one single way, whenever we meet our friend, we meet in some particular fashion. So every time we do shopping in one particular fashion, we eat in some fashion. So every time we are doing something, we are doing in some pattern. So it is very important to break that kind of a pattern. Whether it could be a pattern for money, whether it could be a pattern for doing a job, whether it is a pattern of studying, whether it is a pattern of parenting, whether it is a pattern of doing any business or attracting money or anything. But we are doing in a particular pattern. A negative and resourceful state is also a pattern, because that has become our belief. So for example, for the money, what is your belief system for the money? Is the money brings an evil, brings all the evil, and I won't be able to handle so much of money? The money, when you get much of the money, so your relationship get hampered. Is that kind of your belief system? So how you will attract the money? How it happens? Because somebody has told us again and again and again, and that has gone into our structural neuroplasticity. And when it gets deepen and deepen and deepen, it forms our functional neuroplasticity. And we can change it. How we can change it? We will see it. We will see it when we will know how to change the state. In my next video, I'll be telling you that. But it is very important to see what is neuroplasticity. So there is a chemical neuroplasticity, then there is a structural neuroplasticity, and when it gets deeper and deeper, it becomes our functional neuroplasticity. Because when we are consciously not doing any effort, but subconsciously our body is functioning like that. So the brain is like a plastic. Whatever you will feed continuously again and again and again, it will change your mind. And this is how you will develop your belief system and your values, and your body work accordingly. So that is known as neuroplasticity. So if you will work in that any particular state, whether it will be resourceful or unresourceful, believe me, somewhere the neuroplasticity hampers a lot, works a lot. So we have to change our neuroplastic behavior, guys.